AM 1220 KHTS, I'm Key Budge. Our special 1-hour show is expanded because it needed to. We're talking about some great information that impacts the Santa Clarita Valley. We've got Deputy Josh Dubin and Detective Bill Velick, and also News Director from AM 1220, Perry Smith, is with us. We had great information we shared in the first hour, and it's expanded. I asked Perry to step in. I kind of poked fun at him, but I actually asked him if he would join us, because I know that he's got the pulse on what's going on in the news department, and having you guys here, even though he's able to reach out and communicate with you guys on a regular basis and at will, I just thought it was important to share that kind of relationship that you guys have. So when folks go to our webpage, they listen to our broadcast, they know that we're getting the information direct from the source. We're not regenerating information that's sent out. You're able to get it firsthand. So that's an important deal. And Bill, I know that you get information in different ways, but one way that you mentioned that you like to get it is through what avenue?
Through Crime Stoppers. The website is lacrimestoppers.com. And people can either anonymously provide information. The stuff that gets routed to me is in regards to narcotics crimes. People know what's going on in their neighborhoods, in their communities, and they know when something's wrong. They know when someone's doing something they're not supposed to be doing. And if they can get that information to me, then I can go out and start an investigation, and I can do some follow-up, and we can stop the narcotics activity in a neighborhood. When I do go out and do a lot of speaky stuff, the question is always, oh, if you know they're selling drugs, how come you're not stopping them? We have to know when they're selling drugs. It's not just, randomly grabbing somebody on the street. We have to conduct an investigation. There's all the rules that we have to follow. And the information that we get through the Crime Stoppers, a lot of times if people go on the website, they type in the information, I'm getting their words directly to my desk, so I can follow up on that, and I know exactly what they're telling me. And because they live here, and I'm out here, I grew up out in Santa Clarita Valley, I've been here my whole life. When they describe a neighborhood to me, I know exactly what they're talking about, and when I have their words, rather than somebody third hand trying to give it to me, I'm able to see it, I can go out there, I can begin my investigation, and I know when to go out. If they tell me, this guy comes home from school and he sells marijuana or whatever it is he's selling, whatever narcotics he's selling, between the time he gets home from school and the time mom and dad get home from work, valuable information on when I need to conduct my investigation so that I can get the evidence I need to, whether it's doing a search warrant, stopping them on the street, doing what I need to do to get those drugs off the street. So for me, the Crime Stoppers is a great tool. And
I think what was impactful when we were on the break, you mentioned, because you were able to read that in their own words.
Yes.
And that to you kind of really sends the message versus getting something generic where it's just someone's taken a message and they've written it down themselves, maybe paraphrased from it. You're getting it directly as how they want to describe it via that site.
And a lot of times when they type it, they give more information. When they sit down to write a letter on their computer, they're sending me it. They put more information in it than the phone call they make. The 2-minute phone call where they're giving somebody information. I don't know why it is. The ones that are typed in, I seem to get more information.
That's a great point. And Josh, what's as far as the tie-in with this program? What is you were talking about? There's even potentially could be a reward associated utilizing this program.
If you go to lacrimestoppers.com, their phone number is 1-800-222-TIPS, TIPS. You're able to anonymously report crime. Now, this crime, it's not just for Santa Clarita Valley. This is anywhere in the county of Los Angeles. You're able to report these crimes. It's then forwarded from them to the appropriate sheriff station or appropriate law enforcement agency, whether it be Glendale PD or LAPD. And then we review these tips and we forward them to the proper person at the station, whether it be Detective Velick with the J team, whether it be, to our Cobra team, whether it's a crime prevention unit that we're able to take care of it. I can't stress enough how valuable these tips are. Again, the community is our eyes and ears. You know what's going on in your street. You know who your next door neighbor is. You know if people are coming and going from that location at weird hours of the night that shouldn't be doing that. And this information is just invaluable to get sent over to us.
Now, as far as the other community programs, things like the Neighborhood Watch, and so what are other programs that the public can get involved in to assist with understanding the community and the law enforcement aspect?
Well, back to our Nixle service, one of the programs here at the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station that's been widely popular is we do a weekly Nixle. We have 5 zone leaders right now for the 5 zones that we have in the crime prevention unit. Each week, the zone leader reviews a number of Part 1 crime reports,
Now,
tracks trends.
what are Part 1 crimes?
Part 1 crimes are the more serious crimes. These are thefts, burglaries. These are, arsons, stolen cars, different things like that. The zone leader then prepares a weekly Nixle report. And in that weekly Nixle report, we talk about how many Part 1 crimes there were, some of the different scenarios or incidents that happened, whether it be a vehicle burglary, a purse was left on the seat, the car was broken into, the purse was stolen on the 28,000 block of, Main Street or whatever it seems to be. That information is then geographically sent out to the residents that live in that zone. So you're at the other end of Canyon Country, you might not necessarily want to know what's going on in Newhall or Valencia, but you certainly want to know what's going on your street, the surrounding streets, and in your neighborhood. This is very, very important information to you. If there's a car thief running around, you want to know about this. And so we're able to weekly send out this information to the people that care about this information the most.
And it's not just about, letting the public know, which is obviously a great service for the public, but you guys also use that information, you track it, and you kind of develop patrols around it, right?
Correct.
I mean, it helps you.
Correct. If we realize a trend, then we're able to quickly work with our detectives, work with our special teams, work with our patrol deputies to stop whatever's going on. If there's a car thief in a neighborhood, okay, we need to focus our resources in that neighborhood because we don't want it to go months and months and months without figuring out what's going on. We're able to almost on a daily basis figure out what's going on. A nice thing that Hometown Station does is that it takes all of our weekly Nixles, we do have 5 of them, it summarizes them into one package, and every Friday you can view that on their website. Again, it's just part of having a strong partnership with local media and the sheriff's station.
And I tell you, as far as the content and the feedback goes, we don't get nothing gets more reception or messages than those Nixle reports. I mean, people love to know what's going on in their neighborhood, especially when it comes to, crime or someone's breaking the law. I mean, that is closely watched out here.
Now, Perry, here with our news department, and you get one of these Nixle alerts, what is it that you like to do once you've received that?
Well, sometimes, if it's something that it's a major incident that, for whatever reason, we always want to follow up with that. We want to call and say, hey, is this an ongoing investigation? Is there anything we can do to help? Is there a suspect picture we can help, get the word out about there? What do people need to know about this? And that's something I've had, countless conversations with Deputy Dubin about, just as far as getting some feedback from the station. And it's great to always have somebody there that, you can call and say, hey, what's happening here? And they'll give it to you, straight. This is the situation, And people get, I think, frustrated when they don't know everything, but sometimes there is that, we need to be careful, we need to be aware of the public concern, and there's certain things that, maybe can't always go out. But, anytime that there's something that needs to be distributed, there's certainly people there that can help do that, and appreciate that.
It's important for the public to understand there is sensitive information in law enforcement investigations. You just can't share it.
Right.
Based on the impact of those ongoing investigations, you can't give everything, but you can give some things to preserve public safety.
Right.
is obviously probably the most important goal, but in getting that information. But you also have to protect the investigation and the integrity of it.
Right.
And so you guys work together, I would imagine, on striking that balance as far as with the detectives and with other deputies and with the zone leaders. Like what can we put out?
Right, absolutely. Oftentimes, people want to know they have a need for information, but oftentimes we won't release information on certain cases because we know an upcoming arrest is going to be made and we don't want this person to leave the area or we want to finish that investigation, we want to finish that case, and then, we're more than happy to tell you the circumstances surrounding that.
Once you've exhausted your leads, there's nothing fresh, there's nothing that you're actually seeking that new information.
Right.
That's not going to jeopardize, then that's when you can release a little bit more.
And I can't tell you, the countless times that we've, released surveillance photos, recently we had a string of school burglaries over spring break. We had some surveillance video, we had some photos, we released them, and the amount of calls and tips that we got was incredible. It was great, and we're able to go through those, and ultimately that led to an arrest. And now we've arrested 3 people in these burglaries. So if it wasn't for the assistance that we get from the public that we serve, stuff like that wouldn't be possible.
It's truly a partnership. This is AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Key Budge. In studio, we've got our news director, Perry Smith, Deputy Josh Dubin, Detective Bill Bellick. We're going to take a break. We'll be back for more. Stick with us. AM 1220 KHTS.